Hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. So today me and my dad are just reacting to the game. It finishes Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 1. Now starting off, I think Bournemouth played very well in the first half. They won the ball back. Billing was good. He intercepted a lot of our passes. We were sloppy. We were giving the ball away far too easily. And fair play to Bournemouth because they came with a game plan, and to get a point against Newcastle is a fantastic result. Now, I think we did lack a bit of creativity. Gordon came on for Willock. And his energy was very good.
His attitude was really good, wasn't it?
He clearly has shown a lot of passion. He's keen to play. He's keen to be on that pitch. But to be fair, Maxi also had a good game as well. He cut inside a lot. He actually helped set up the first goal because he cut inside, then passed it along Saf, who shot, and then it was just an easy goal to tap
I thought
in.
at times that St Maximan did well, but then sometimes his final ball was poor and that, but he did well for the goal, and it was a calm finish. Great timing of run by Longstaff and a great composed finish by Miggy, because he could have blasted it, but he just opened his body up and just slotted it into the side. But I thought Bournemouth came with a game plan, and they identified, obviously I love Dan Burn, I think he's fantastic, but he's not the most mobile and he hasn't got a lot of pace.
Yeah, they've got a lot of pace, so they use that to...
They were trying to do a diagonal ball and get the player, is it Umana or something? The guy who's playing on the right for Bournemouth, can't remember his name, but he was making diagonal runs, and they were trying to do that in the second half to get in behind him. Caused problems for Burn. But I think for our goal, we're really sloppy again. Another corner like we conceded against West Ham. Trippier left his man, Burn was on his heels, and then Sensi was left unmarked to tap in, and we've got to really cut that out, because I think if we'd been playing against a better team today, we would have been hammered.
I think as well, you've got to think, because Howe hasn't really changed up his starting 11 much this season, I think maybe you could suggest, because we don't have enough depth on the bench, because he's not really changing the squad around, these players are pretty much playing every game. They might be tired, so I think that's sort of, if we'd had better players on the bench, I think that he could rotate the squad a lot more, which means the current copper players wouldn't get so tired, which is maybe why we're drawing quite a lot of games at the minute, because them players are playing a lot, so they're tired. But the injuries we had were a bit of a concern.
I mean, you've got Willock's gone off, which what looks potentially like his hamstring, and then obviously Miggy got stood on his hand, so if he has broke it or something, he should still be able to play. He should be able to play unless it's a really bad break.
I thought the one with Maxi was interesting because it didn't really look like it had affected him that much, but then when it showed him, he was screaming when they were putting his hand on his leg, so I don't know whether he pulled a muscle or something, but it's just concerning, because injuries are going to really sort of decide our season, whether we finish in the top 4 or not.
I think, we've not brought in a replacement for Chris Wood. We've brought Gordon in, who did really well when he came on today. He looked really hungry and keen, and he worked hard. His passing was good on the ball. But the only one thing I think he could have done better today, Gordon, was he was cutting inside a bit like Maxi was, and he had the opportunity to shoot, and he was looking for a pass. So, Howe needs to say to him, get your shot off if it's there, because there was times he got into good positions and he could have pulled the trigger and he didn't. But disappointing performance, I think. And I think if we were playing a better team today, we would have beaten. Again, Botman, who I think is a fantastic player, he did a foul at the end where he could have been booked and got sent off. Thankfully, he wasn't, because it would have been a second yellow card. But again, he's going in with his left foot. And I know he's left-footed, but it's naturally on his other side, so he needs to go in on his right side, and he does that a lot, and he's a great player, but it's something that he could improve on, I think.
Yeah, so this also means that Manchester United will have more ground on us now. Tottenham did lose to Leicester 4-1, I think it was, so that was fantastic for Newcastle. Couldn't have come at a better time, really, with us drawing. But do you think we'll still get top 4 or not?
I think it all depends on injuries.
Yeah,
because
I
I think
agree with
we're
you
starting
there.
to look at times a little bit tired and a little bit sloppy, and I could see little bits of frustration coming into Dan Burns' game today and Botman's game. Certain players were giving the ball away, were quite sloppy, so whether it's fatigue, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's because, like I said before, because we can't really change the squad that much. It doesn't sort of, it doesn't give us enough time to, you know, the players must be a lot. So, like I said before, because, you know, there's not enough players in the squad. I don't think there's enough squad depth. Then players will be tired because you can't really change the squad around too much, because no disrespect to like Murphy or Anderson, but they're not really players who are going to change the game very much. So I think it is due to tiredness that we are drawing. You know, drawing against West Ham there near the bottom, drawing against Bournemouth there in the bottom as well. So it's not great, but at least we're not. At least when we're playing bad, we're not losing games,
that's important,
which is
that we're
always
not losing,
a sign
and
of
we're
a
keeping
good team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But in terms of top 4, my opinion, I was quite confident a few weeks ago, but now I'm not as confident. I think European football, definitely, but top 4, I'm not so sure. I think it depends on injuries, and it also depends how Tottenham do, because they're a very inconsistent team. You know, sometimes they'll go and get a result against a team you wouldn't expect them to, and then they'll lose to a team you would expect them to win. So it all just depends. But
another thing we've not mentioned, sorry to interrupt, there, is that what about Wilson not being just last minute, not being in the squad? And Keith Downey reported that was a slight knock and nothing to worry about. But when Howe was interviewed before the game, he said it's his hamstring, and he said, "Oh, it's just a slight concern, fingers crossed." But if it's his hamstring, for me, it's not a knock. That's not a knock, so it is a concern because he's got previous with his hamstring, and he's a person with a lot of speed, so that's a real concern.
He hasn't been great recently, though, when he's played, but if you look, it still is a concern.
If he's out for a few weeks, we've only got Isaac,
and it makes you think, should we have kept Chris Wood?
Yeah, well, that's a good point, because we've left ourselves short in that department. Yes, we've brought Gordon in, and he can play anyway across the front three, but he's not really a centre forward. He is a different type of player to Wood. We'll just
I just want to ask you now, do you think Maxi should start against Liverpool again, or play Gordon?
Gordon did very well when he came on. Maxi was hit and miss. He did some good stuff, but I think Howe was very loyal, so he stays with the same team.
But the problem is, if we are drawing games, he does need to change the team up.
Possibly, possibly, because it gives you another option, doesn't he? But I think he sticks with the same players. As long as they've not gone beat, and as long as they've not been woeful, he sticks with the same players. He's very
But that's the thing, though. Them players is going to get tired if he's sticking with them. Yeah. But the problem is we don't have enough squad depth to rotate and have good enough players to rotate. So I've said this a couple of times, but I think that's the problem.
It is. We're short on numbers in quality to come off the bench, and that's what'll, if we get injuries, that's what'll potentially stop us from getting the top 4 place. But you know, let's hope the players who have gone off injured, let's hope Wilson, Miggy, Willock and Maxi can recover in time for next week's game.
Personally, I think he will start Maxi. I think he'll go for the same team. Hopefully the injuries, actually Maxi could be injured.
He could be. I don't think when he fell, it didn't look like he'd injured himself badly, but then he limped off, so maybe
he did look in pain, so it's an interesting one, but anyway, draw not too bad for Newcastle. We play Liverpool at home now. Liverpool have not been doing very well recently. They play Everton at home on Monday, so this is certainly a winnable game, but I think that could also be a draw again as well.
Possibly, yeah, Liverpool aren't doing great, and Everton have got Dyche in, and he seems to have given them a bit more of an identity and belief and a boost. So, you know, it could be a draw, that game.
And I just wanted to touch on, it was Eddie Howe. He clapped all of the Bournemouth fans at the end of the game, and it's very, very nice to see because he's been such a great part of Bournemouth's history. You know, he kept them up for so long with a limited amount of resources, and he's brought them up from League Two to the Premier League. So that was a nice thing to see. But
really nice to the Bournemouth fans showed him a lot. Obviously, they were giving him a bit of stick during the game, but at the end of the game, they were giving him a lot of appreciation for the work he's done. So it was really nice. Yeah,
and also that's probably why he didn't bring on Fraser, because they were giving Fraser quite a lot of stick. But I do worry about our bench, and for the final as well, I do worry because Manchester United are playing so much better than us currently, and I also worry. Say for example, we're getting beat 1-0 off Manchester United. It gets to like the 60th, 70th minute, and you have just Murphy and Anderson on the bench. There's not really much that you know they can do, no disrespect to them. So I am a bit worried for the cup final. Of course, you've always got to remember we're missing Bruno, so you could say not having him, because of course he always makes a difference, and I'm sure he would have made a difference if he was playing. You know, he breaks up the play. So yeah, guys, well, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and thank you for... We've also had 20,000 views on the channel, so that is great. Keep pushing, keep going. So turn on the notification bell so you get ready for that final post coming up as well, and for the Liverpool game as well. So guys, disappointing result for Newcastle, but let's hope we can get the 3 points next game. Take care.